he becomes her shadow. He won't leave her be. So often, just like now, she can get a little irritable with him, almost like snapping at him. She's the one that has to initiate the mating. Look at him there. He lifts his lip in a little bit of a sheepish grin. Not so much a growl as much as it was. As they started mating, I don't even think we got to see that. It was very interesting. It's possibly going to happen again in 15 or 20 minutes. I don't think there was proper copulation there. I think she was just keeping him interested. And it's quite an interesting facet of lion life, how lionesses can keep males interested to make sure that they're going to stick around long enough for the cubs to be raised to old enough age that they're not going to be killed by intruding males or other males coming in. I don't know, it's almost like it was sabotage. I'm sorry, that was just really, really strange. How it's the number of times that this happens that as we get to a really interesting thing, the stream crashes. It's almost as though somebody's switching it off for me. But we'll stay with them. It's very interesting to watch lion mating. It's a process that takes place over a period of a few days, and they're likely to copulate anywhere from every 20 minutes to every half hour or so. If we sit here long enough, maybe he'll entice her to get up again. But yeah, it is the female that normally when she's in estrus, she does a lot of rubbing, and she does a lot of displaying in front of him to give him a hint that it's time to be covered. I'm not too sure how long they've been going at it, these two. It might only have just started. Might be why the kahumas are close by, and might explain the roaring. Because when the mating does take place, the female that is in estrus, that is being covered, is likely to just, and the male of course, they're likely to not follow on with the pride when the pride moves on.
Mark, and also from Brian, thanks very much for your great camera work. Good to be with you again, and good to have Giga back. So we have got 2 vehicles this afternoon again, which is something to look forward to. Anyway, until then, unless I see you later, have a great drive, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back, everyone. Not much has happened. We managed to change position. Now we've got all 3 of them, I think, in view. But thanks to Sil, it clarified something for me, which makes a lot more sense now. These are the 2 Styx females from the Styx Pride, STYX. And evidently they've been mating with this Matimba for a while now. I guess it's just unusual that the other Matimbas moved over onto with the kahumas, because they, I think, have also been associating with other males, the Salati males, and none of these males are actually bothering with the cubs at the moment of the kahumas. But probably the reason why kahumas started moving off into Torchwood was the presence of these 2 Styx girls. They don't really want to clash. They don't want to cross paths. I think somewhere along the line they probably have common ancestry, and they've certainly grown up alongside each other. in terms of territories. And I counted them in the Nkuhumas, there were 9 of them there. And Sharon in Austria and Adam, and of course Sil earlier mentioning. Also others that are coming in with IDs and confirming. This is one of the Matimbas with the two Styx females. Interesting that this is taking place. I would be interested to know from those of you who are writing in with some details, when was the last time Styx females were seen mating? Because, yeah, she's getting up again. She's probably going to just go and lie in some shade. But being in estrus, he's not going to let her move more than 2 feet away from him. Using her tail to see where he is, to feel her way behind her. She just wants to lie in the shade. A bit of sun coming out, so it's getting a little bit warm. I hope they're not going to... No, she just wants to lie down. She's not going to let him. Hissing at him. She is, I think. Well, this time it's concealed a little bit. We'll give them their privacy. That might have been more productive, the way she snapped at him and now lying on her back. Let's move. Let's see if we can see. Although it's not going to be much, so now they're going to sleep again for another 20 minutes. Interesting that a couple of vultures have landed in the troop. Those 3 vultures have landed. No others have joined them. It's just interesting that there are those 3 vultures. Probably just there based on the fact that there are lions here. Hoping, I guess, since there are no thermals for them to fly around in, they might as well find a predator and sit with a predator. Hooded vulture doesn't necessarily need a carcass. Hooded vulture will pick on feces of the predators. Sorry, I'm trying to turn. And that is a subduing gesture, biting on the back of the neck like that. It doesn't always work. But often old lionesses have got a lot of scars on the back of their neck. And a lot of the scars on the male's face are from that moment. And sorry, volume was down. Give me that question again, please. A couple of vultures there. It would be pretty hard for him to. I would imagine that his brother would come to assist. Strangely enough, lionesses do tend to time their estrus, not voluntarily, of course, it's just the way it works, but it works very well. But they come into estrus pretty much about the same time. They tend to give birth pretty close proximity to each other. Most of that is because raising cubs of the same age is beneficial. When you have cubs that are different in age, with quite a discrepancy in age, there's a lot more competition from the older cubs, and a lot harder for the younger cubs to make it when they're trying to get into to feed. Interesting that the wind's picked up, and so there are a few thermals. I'm seeing a vulture flying off to our right. I'm wondering if it's going to. Looks like it's in a thermal trying to get lift, trying to gain altitude, but I don't think it's seen this lot sitting in the tree yet. If anything, the ones in the tree here are watching this vulture. Now it's coming over. Hibiscus, foxglove, sesamosum, bunch of flowers. A lot of heliotropes earlier. But now see, these vultures are taking off, actually taking off after this particular vulture that came over now. Also trying to get into thermal. I guess they've given up on these cats. The cats are mating, they're not going to be hunting. Is that really not the binoculars? We on the vulture? She was watching the vulture. The last vulture took off from the tree, and she was following us. All the vultures right above us. You can see she's watching them. They're circling above us. Well, circling is not the right word, but they're trying to find thermals. I think that's the 3 vultures that were in the tree, and this other 4th vulture that came along that are now all found one particular thermal, taking them higher and further away. Hello, Anna, in the UK. As old as Karula, if not maybe a bit older. Eight, 10, maybe more. I'm not sure. I think she knows best to stay clear of the mating couple. She doesn't need to be on top of them, I don't think. Let's see where she goes. Coming in with her ears flattened, not making eye contact with them, just flattening the ears and just indicating to them if they are getting a little bit bad-tempered that she's just coming to lie down. So Sherry was asking, how many tries does it take for lioness to get pregnant? Well, I don't know, Sherry. I don't know how one would ever measure that. I don't know how one would ever be able to tell. Considering they mate over a period of 3 to 4 days every 15, 20 or 30 minutes, so it's copulating a few hundred times. Now, one can tell whether there's penetration or not, because quite often there isn't, and of course you have to be positioned yourself in the right way to see that. I don't even know how one would be able to tell. The little boy that was doomed. See, I lose track. I have lost track.